Hey, DJ here from PTA. Want to go over two particular trades with you guys in reference to price action that happened today. First one is going to be AMC because that was one I did shout out in the trade. It did bounce as I thought it would, and let me show you why I thought it would bounce. Because some people kind of ask me, well, how did you know it was going to bounce, and so on and so forth. If we look at the overall trend, it kept breaking each one of its areas, right? It broke it there, broke it right there, so on and so forth. It broke it here. When it started to break it here, it broke it down and snatched back up. I'm waiting for it to break this area and it didn't. It actually swung down and then started to reverse. That gave me the confidence that this thing was going to fly. But I wasn't at the desk, so I didn't take advantage of it. This would have been your entry right here off the red reversal. First candle confirmation. Second candle is the continuation. That three part play. So after that, um, I knew that it would fly at that point in time. Again, I wasn't at the desk, so I didn't take advantage of the trade. But unfortunately, well, fortunately, some people did. Unfortunately, I didn't. Well, I was happy with my previous trade on the next stop that I'm going to go over, and I'm going to go over that with you right now. So the next stop I wanted to go over was on VERU. Now, this is the one everybody's been talking about today. And let me kind of break down the logistics of the stock, logistics of what was happening in the trade. So first off, you had a catalyst. So that pushed it on everybody's radar. Second catalyst was that it had gapped up for the morning. So when you have a gapper with news, well, what's the news? The news was about COVID. Well, if you understand the sentiment of the market, you understand what's going on throughout, just in general in the world. Well, here in America, they're implementing mask mandates in a lot of states because the COVID numbers are rising. Shanghai is actually on lockdown. There's other parts of the world that's battling COVID numbers, whether they're plastering it to you or not. It's still there. It's still happening. So ultimately, you had a key word, which was COVID. You had the COVID testing said it was good. Then you have everyone scared of COVID and the information that's going out there, gapping up in news, high volume. You had all these different elements or components that made this stock move today. And then the biggest component being FOMO. A lot of people jumped into this stock, probably didn't know the news or anything. They jumped off a pattern, volume, Momo trading, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, that made the stock go catastrophic. So when we break this all the way down, again, guys, you know I like that 30-minute pullback. Got a 30-minute pullback, confirmation, continuation. So with that being said, we know that off of that, I would have got in somewhere around the 630s or something like that, or in that area. So ultimately, um, I didn't see it at that price. So I want to kind of break it down so you can kind of see uh, what the what it looked like on a chart. I'm gonna go to the 5 minute because it looks real clean on there. So right here on the 5 minute, and let me zoom in just a little bit more, like right there, perfect. So if you look at this, I'm gonna use my snippet tool so I can kind of draw this out for you. You can see ABC. So this was A, this here marked B. Okay. Now, A is always the high point. B is always the lowest point. You can even call it here. Always look for the bounce off of B. That signifies B for me. When it pulled back, that was an area. It went up, pulled back, that was an area. So when you got boom, 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 this will make it C. So you see that it's going higher. So you got a high area, another high area, into the break. This is the break. Remember that this price right here was the 30-minute break. So we had already confirmed that it was going down. That was our reversal. Then the next candle was confirmation that I'm reversing now. The candle after that is the continuation. That's where you want to enter. So at that point in time, we had this nice little break. Now, I didn't get the alert. Our staff, Trade King, he put the alert in. I think his first trade was around 616, 620. I didn't get into 716. I wanted 711, but I got slid in at 716. So I'm going to put that as white so you can see it. That's where I got in at. Now I had a continuation off of the higher time frames showing that it had support, that it was swinging. All I'm doing at that point is waiting for a pullback. The pullback happened right around here. So I had this nice rally up, it pulled back, and then I jumped in. So my risk was right here. So this is how this trade kind of played out for some people. Listening to the Discord and watching people trade. People jumped in. Like I said, I wanted it here, but I got a little bit higher. That's fine. This was my stop. The stock went up, pulled back, and then it did this nice consolidation here on the 1 minute. It knee jerked up and then pulled back. Now, most people got spooked and got taken out of the trade, or they jumped in there and then they end up losing. Now, the reason why I didn't pull off was because it had already made the higher low section. So grouping it, it looks like that. Now, to show you a different way from a higher time frame, you can look at a 5 minute, just stepping up a time frame above. In that same area, it just looks like a flag. It still was making higher lows. But this little jerk down is what scares some people. Take it to another higher time frame, which would be the 10 minute. In the 10 minute, it looks even cleaner. It's still higher lows. So that means you hold. So because of my situation, and I was trying, I had other things to do. What I end up doing was taking the same trade. When it got over this section here, with this pullback and the pullback here, let me show you on the chart here. I end up loading out here. So I think I averaged out right around the 860s is where I started to kind of really take stuff off. I mean, I'm already up $1 a share. I got a whole lot of shares at this point because after this, once it did this right here, I mean, I got super confident. So once it did that, I ended up doubling up on this next break. So when I doubled up, it moved my share count a little bit up, but I was still in the green, so I let it rip. So I'm already up $1 per share. Everything's looking great. I'm happy, so on and so forth. So I get out of the trade. And ultimately, it kept going. So this stock kept going and it ran up. But when you look at the higher time frames, you would have saw that and not felt any kind of way about it. 15 minute was clean. The 10 minute was clean. So these higher time frames is where it's at. Even on this pullback here on a 5 minute time frame, it still not break the previous low. So it was still in motion. So this stock was still moving forward. A lot of people took good advantages and took a good stop and kind of got some good plays off of this. And like again, as I stated earlier, I didn't get the stock at the low or at the great point. I got it here in the middle, but I took the meat of the move. I took a little portion of this move, and then and left some on the table for others, as people would say. So this was one of those stocks again. A lot of people piled into this because it was a FOMO stock and everybody was looking for that next big thing to happen. And this was that nice little parabolic move. And I wouldn't necessarily call it parabolic, but it definitely was a great move to the upside. Had a lot of momentum, had a lot of volume. It rotated 4.5 times its float today. And this thing had an 80 million float. So it was a good trade inside and out. Guys, if you have any questions, concerns, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that like button so that I can help others and this will get sent to other traders out there that's struggling with their trades. But as I always tell everyone in the Discord and everyone in the staff, you definitely got to stay studying and stay focused.